nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace, but it's hard to find when my thoughts never cease. Everything I do is all consuming. My mind races, leaving me breathless and worn. I try to find solace, but it's fleeting, leaving me with nothing but the echoes of my screams. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace, but it's hard to find when my thoughts never cease. Who am I to say I deserve peace? Maybe I'm better off just fading away. It's what I'm used to, this isolation, but deep down I long for connection. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear.
What up, everybody? It's John Escudero, and I'm here with my boy Greg, and we're talking about our hairy crown jewels. Or at least that's what I thought we were talking about. Greg invited me onto this show. No, we're talking about WWE Crown Jewel tonight, or this afternoon, because the show aired in the morning for me on the West Coast. I had to wake up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Check this out. This glorified house show. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was fun. I had fun. What are you talking about? Craig, introduce yourself to folks, man.
I'm Gregory Thomas. I am here to talk about this outlaw mud show known as Crown Jewel.
Outlaw Jewel show? Outlaw Sparkly show? It was expensive for damn sure. It always fucks me up that their stuff is so much cooler than ours whenever they get it. Big ass, cool ass stage. I thought it was better than the WrestleMania stage. Hell yeah, big ass X and L. They had a whole Wrestle Kingdom situation going on. They had fucking side panels. They had fucking.
Okay, so like when you talk about the whole entirety of the arena, I think that changes things. But I'm thinking about like when you say the stage, I'm thinking about just the front, like of the top of the ramp.
But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the top of the ramp is just a big square ramp. Come on.
I mean, like the whole situation, like the whole was sick, bro. That shit was awesome.
I think that's also like situationally speaking. I think that also has to do with your like what kind of arena you're in. Because like to be fair, like the SoFi Stadium also had that fucking really cool ring LED above the ring.
Yeah.
So like that, it had that going for it that I don't think the Philadelphia field has. I don't remember the name of it. The Eagles field.
The Philly Stadium.
Yeah. No, not the Phillies. The Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said, SoFi had that going for it that Philadelphia Stadium didn't. So yeah, some of those places are just made up for it. I don't remember what Allegiant Stadium looks like. I know they did SummerSlam there.
That's the Las Vegas one.
Yes.
Yeah, they did that. They did SummerSlam there. It didn't have this cool stuff though. But again, like you said, that's just the arena. That shit was awesome. But
yes,
we might as well get into the show. Talk about this main event. This Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, which was a fun time. I thought. I had.
Are we gonna work our way up?
No, we usually start with the main event and then
okay.
Down. Well, usually because there was something big that happened in the main event, and we should talk about that immediately. But essentially, this was just a wrestling match.
No, this was a pretty straightforward show.
Yeah, that's kind of why I called it a glorified house show. It was like it was fun.
Yeah.
You know,
it reminds me of those old WWF specials, like the event or the wrestling classic.
Yeah, I don't hate them. I'm glad that they exist. I'm glad that this happened. That you can just check this out on a Saturday if you want, or skip it. I wish it was presented more like you could skip it, but they spend a lot of weeks of television building to this, so you would have wasted your time if you didn't watch this. Why'd you watch the last 6 weeks?
That's also very true,
right? But hey, our third, Nick LaRocco. Hey,
what up, homie?
Join us on Wednesdays to talk about the last 7 days of professional wrestling news. Me, Greg, and Nick all together. But yeah, man.
We do repeatedly speak on Linkin Park.
They do talk. He had to bring Linkin Park up on this show. Absolutely unnecessary. I can't believe you, gentlemen.
The professionalism of this broadcast.
Shooting that shit everywhere we go. It's okay. Linkin Park is
yeah. So. Yeah, I thought it was overall. I thought it was a solid event. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I don't even think. I think I liked some stuff more than the live crowd did.
There was some stuff that the live crowd was kind of quiet for, and I think some of that is cultural. But you know, some of that is also just the way WWE presents. So,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, particularly I thought it got really quiet around the women's matches.
Yes.
And some of the girls were working really hard, and I felt bad. Damn, man,
yeah,
it's silent.
Yeah, and I can't help but just think to myself, oh boy, all these young 20-something Saudi men don't know how to react.
It's I'm gonna get slapped by my mom. I don't know what's about to happen. I think it was interesting that the girls. They're made to wear the more fabric so that they cover themselves because the cultural differences. But essentially, these form-fitting outfits are more revealing than anything they wear on TV.
I guess I wouldn't use the term revealing, but the takeaway is while what you lose in actual skin, you make up for in accentuation of curvatures.
I can see all the curves now.
Yeah.
This is somehow hotter. Because we make it worse. Are you fighting? You're supposed to fight against. But anyway, that's just a funny thing. I thought I saw all the fabric.
Yes.
A lot of fabric.
But you also poked fun at the idea that they try to take away from all the. They try to take away from all the fabric with lights and accentuants. But those accentuants are not exactly the most durable.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second because I saw when Jade and Becky came out and they had the jewels on. I was like, that might not be a good idea.
Okay, so you want to wait till then? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
We'll get right. We'll talk about the end of the show really fast and then switch it up to the beginning because that's our normal format. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, champion versus champion. Very even, very back and forth. Very, I don't want to say basic. Basic sounds like a bad word because that's not what I don't mean that.
The word I want to use is very bureaucratic.
Yeah, straight up. It's the world champion versus the world champion. Right?
Yeah. Watching this match felt like watching them negotiate the exact amount of time Bugs and Mickey will share on screen.
Exactly. It's like I'm surprised it was as clean as it was. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I didn't think it would be so straightforward. They had a
Hmm.
full ass match. I feel like even the finish, even though Cody got the pin, and it kind of reflects his position in the company because the WWE Championship, the A belt, the world title can sometimes be, usually is the B belt, and so it wasn't a
Yeah.
surprise. In that line of thinking, if it was me, I would have put the world champion over because it's perceived as the B belt. So, my kind of thinking. It's Cody Rhodes. He is the fucking quarterback. He is the guy. This doesn't surprise me that he got the win. It kept
Yeah.
Gunther looking strong because he essentially took 60% of the match.
Plus, we have so many. Plus, they obviously have so many massive plans for the Cody belt that like you can't have the guy go under to the other dude. It's like, well, why is The Rock fighting Cody? He should be fighting Gunther because he beat Cody.
He should fight Gunther. That'd be really interesting, actually. Just
It would, but
Dwayne chop a peck right off that motherfucker.
you know, it's an interesting situation, I guess, in a sense where like character wise and openness wise, like the guy you want everyone to wrestle is Cody, but like from a match bell perspective, I'm more interested in all these guys wrestling Gunther.
Always. Gunther's my guy. That's why at first I was like, oh, god damn it. Like, my initial reaction when Cody rolled him up, I was like, fuck! That just sucks! But, you get back to reality, and I'm like, these are world champions, and this was the best way to pin Gunther if you have to pin Gunther. It doesn't make him look like a loser. And something about him getting up and giving Cody the respect, like, after that, it somehow made it all better, just made it all feel better. Gunther still sees himself as the champion. I got caught up. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Next time I'll kill you. You got it. Oh, you better move that mic, Greg. But great stuff. Greg, what'd you think of the main event as I flashed through images of the post match?
Oh, I guess we said everything we said. I thought it was very well done, very bureaucratic match. Like nobody got off real hard on each other in any particular way, and nobody got left looking like they were too far above or too far below the other. The Ring of Honor is back, John.
It is. God damn it, Cody. He's gonna sneak the championship ring into every promotion he ever works for.
Yep. I thought it was well done for a match that was made to be done as evenly as possible. It harkens back to a lot of the very I don't mean to say this in a bad way. It harkens back to some of the very heatless matches we've seen in Japan with like New Japan and Noah and New Japan and All Japan, where like everyone's being very cooperatives and playing this very nicely for their political reasons, or at least the reasons of keeping the visions of these two champions where they need to be.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kaito Kiyomiya, in which case Okada crushes you. So it was good, and bless them. This is what we did talk about. Bless them for both being so over that they didn't have to do much.
That was kind of the first thing I noticed, where I was like, they're so over. Everybody loves everything that both these guys do so much that they don't have to kill themselves. And they can still put on a damn good wrestling match, get people emotionally invested in that. So, I mean, two top tier pro wrestlers doing what two top tier pro wrestlers do on this show. Cody, afterwards, they award him, and Liv comes out. They give them both their belts. These massive. Look at this other picture. I'm uploading it now. Of Cody and Liv with the titles across the street at the WWE Experience. These fucking things are Jesus.
Doesn't it look like the New South image that people make fun of?
This side plate is the size of a normal championship main plate.
The side plate is bigger than the first AEW Women's Championship.
Significantly. It's
I wish you had the picture of it around Cody's waist without his arms up, so you can see that it's like just barely cuffing his nipples. It's
like under the
okay, no, that's not it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's if he puts his arms down, it's legit his whole fucking body.
Yeah, the entire midsection is covered by the belt, and it looks like it's about to it's like right under his breast line.
The belt is actually, Liv's belt is actually bigger than her head.
Yeah.
That covers her whole cranium. That's impressive. But yeah, these things will stay at the WWE Experience in Saudi Arabia. They'll go with display cases behind Cody and Liv. Cody and Liv were given championship rings. Instead, Cody's is bigger than Liv's. I thought that was worth noting. But
no surprise at all.
Yeah, pretty much exactly how you would think things go. No real surprises, no real for tomorrow or Friday when it comes to these two gentlemen. Their new journeys begin when the shows come back during the week. Tomorrow, in the same arena, I didn't realize that Raw is going to be coming from Saudi Arabia, and they're going to be doing a fatal four-way for the number one contendership for the World Championship. It's going to be Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Dominic Mysterio. And I said, one of these things is not that's to be the person who wins that match tomorrow. I know enough pro wrestling. I've seen this.
Are you ready for the first big Dominic Mysterio title shot?
About that time. Gunther, perfect guy to put Dominic in the ring with, I think. He's gonna get the shit beat out of him, and he'll try to do every little nasty trick, and it'll be funny as fuck. And eventually, Gunther will chop him into oblivion. And there's no real, Dominic doesn't take any dent to his image from a loss like that. There's only good things that can come from that kind of situation for him.
It's not like he had a great image.
I mean, he's like an asshole heel. He doesn't win all the time. You're right.
His image is not of one as like a wrestling competitor. He's a shitbag.
He's a douchebag.
Street trash.
Exactly. But yeah, man. So I guess we'll cut over to the beginning.
I'd like to note that somebody referred to it as a championship corset.
That's what it looks like. Championship lingerie. Let me see.
Shout out to Game Vault from Twitter. A championship girdle.
I wear this to keep my body in shape. This is my ab maker. But
my waist trainer, championship waist trainer.
You'll never have to see these things again or carry them in an airport.
Yes.
Apparently,
we'll have to see them again in a year.
Apparently, those are real diamonds.
I would not be surprised. I doubt that. I don't see them skimping on that sort of thing.
I don't know. It's pro wrestling, right? You always say 10 pounds of gold, but it's aluminum. And you're like, wait.
I guess I assume that the Saudi Arabian guys paid for that.
That's true. If they paid, I imagine they did pay because that looks like something they would pay for. It looks like a Cash Money 2000s rap album cover. But yeah. Oh wow, are people watching this show on Netflix and other places in the world?
They might be.
Because I realized that I had this clip and it's got an N up in the corner. It says N Live.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Is that what our future is?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure, actually. I think once the Peacock deal is done, all that shit goes right to Netflix. It only makes sense. I don't want to be paying for fucking 16 subscription services anyway. Not without choice. Anyway, what am I watching on Peacock that isn't WWE? Fucking Law and Order? They get that shit on TV, bro. I can watch it on. Anyway.
There's a few things on Peacock that I think are watchable. I will recommend if you've got I was gonna say if you've got a flexible sense of humor, I will recommend Ted to you every day. But you've got to be open to making fun of things that some people would be very uncomfortable making fun of.
That's the way I prefer it, but that's just me.
I remember the exact scene that made me like. It made me go, okay, I have to watch this, which is basically just the kid and Ted just going like, yeah, we had the one Middle Eastern kid. It's like, yeah, but then they got him. What do you mean? Missed him. I liked him too. Wait, what happened?
They?
But they got him.
Peacock then. For Ted, at least.
For Ted and reruns of for Ted and Fast and Furious films and reruns of Community. I think they have the Harry Potter movies on there.
That's weird. They have The Office.
They do have The Office, and the various other the various other incarnations of The Office. They will have various other places as well.
Jesus.
Is that the most remade show ever?
Isn't the Famous one a remake?
Yeah, so like for us, the American one is a remake. Yeah, so like now I'm hearing that there's a Mexican one and like
an Australian one.
And yeah,
everybody wants an office. Listen, there's offices everywhere.
I guess it's.
I would like to see if they're all reflective of the office culture in each country.
I was gonna say, yeah. I guess everyone would be able to relate to it in some way, and then add their own uniqueness to it.
Yeah, I hope anyway. It's not just fucking adaptations of the same Michael stories, and I don't know though.
My good friend of mine who is Australian always said to me that the show doesn't get good. The American show doesn't get good until they stop trying to be the British one.
Nice. I'd never seen the British one, so
I've never seen the American one, so
I watched the first five. I watched up to fucking Steve Carell left.
So like most people.
Yeah. and then I came back and turned on the finale. So yeah, just like most people.
Yes. You didn't watch. I'm sorry. We fall into it the sitcom hole. You didn't watch Scrubs. Like I know you said you've seen
Scrubs guy.
You've seen bits of it.
Yeah.
You've seen bits of it because she loves it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I guess you wouldn't have a reaction to it. Do you remember her reaction to like them running 2 seasons without the main cast?
I wish I could have asked her about that. I don't think I ever got her reaction. She's not here right now, so I can't ask.
Okay.
I my biggest memory from Scrubs is that episode with the big reveal at the end with the funeral thing. I was like, wow, that was crazy deep.
The what?
There was like the father who had lost his son and he thought he was talking to him for the whole fucking episode, and then at the end he turns out he's going to the funeral or some shit like that.
Oh no, I think that's Dr. Cox. I think he's like Brendan Fraser's like the brother.
Something like that, yeah.
Brendan Fraser's like the actors. Yeah, you know it's Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. That's probably why I sat down. Like when the
because what's Brendan Fraser doing? Wait a second. Yeah, and then you're watching an episode with Brendan Fraser, and then you find out like, oh crap, he's been dead the entire episode.
That's how they can afford to use him just once.
Spoilers for however old show. Yeah. That's one of the better ones.
But yeah, I just wanted to show off a couple more photos of the
Crown Jewel Championship.
Crown Jewel Championship that I thought people might want to see before we move on from here.
Let's do it.
We have Cody and Liv, and then we have the original version, and a couple other versions.
That's the new South belt I was talking about.
Incredible.
The Super Continental. Look at this poor guy. Look at him. There's so little of him and so much of it.
Find me the fucking difference. Find me the difference between these two photos. It's very hard.
You would bring it back with an Office reference.
You see how we do?
Yes.
Put us on television already. Anyway, fucking cutting all the way back to the beginning. We opened the show with about 67 minutes of fanfare. I was like, fuck, this is taking a long time, and the first entrance hasn't even happened yet. We finally get there. So we get the Bloodline versus the Bloodline. One of these small graphics is them, and it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. They don't have one. I don't think I got one for them. Whatever. It is what it is. They're on the show poster. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline.
Yes, they are.
Who are they calling? Are the original Bloodline calling themselves Bloodline?
No, I don't think they've used that term. I think everyone's just like called them the OG Bloodline to differentiate it on paper.
That's right.
They just call Roman the original tribal chief, but like they haven't come up with a name for them. I started calling them the Ultimate Usos, but you know.
Hey Mac, thank you for calling me sexy. I appreciate that, and thank you for joining us, Brandy. But yeah, the OTC and his cousins,
yes,
finally back together on television. That was actually quite an image. Jay with every gimmick he has on, just to make sure that he thinks that he's back, because he's.
I still don't understand this color choice, but
Miami,
Rocket Jay,
right?
Is that it?
I don't know, because he's from San Francisco.
That's what I'm saying.
But no,
it does. Now that you mention it, it does kind of look like the old like Florida Marlins or Miami Marlins colors. So yeah.
Right. But they did make separate entrances for Jimmy. Jimmy is
yes.
Still,
we gave Jimmy his own theme song, and none of it mattered.
I thought that it would have been more effective if they all came out separately, but
I would have at least accepted if like Jimmy got to the ramp with his own and then they brought out Roman.
Yeah, exactly. Like we really did him a disservice.
Yeah.
So Jay makes his own entrance and Roman is kind of like, fucking bullshit. Which is funny because that's pretty much the story of the match. They've made up, but they haven't completely made up yet.
Yes.
It lost them. As Roman, as you can see here, he just was completely offended, disinterested in everything Jey Uso was doing. Solo, like Max says here, Solo's unit is cohesive. They love each other. They respect each other. People, it's so funny because they're like these animals, these savages. And Solo was like, I don't know, man.
These thugs.
We fucking love each other, man. And Jacob was like, I love you.
I was just gonna say, Solo, I love you.
Wait, he's actually still like pretty respectful. I feel like they love each other very much.
In my mind, so like because I sat myself down to watch so much of it, they did this exact same angle when it was like excuse me, when it was the triple threat. That was the main event. It was the triple threat versus Taz, Sabu, and Rob Van Dam, and that was Shane's whole thing. The triple threat are like this: we are one unit together. Those guys hate each other. Taz hates Sabu. Taz doesn't like Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam doesn't like any of them.
I feel like, I mean, Solo has kind of said it in passing where he's like, you know, like, look at them in their fake family. Like, this is me and my real family. But I feel like we should really put some more emphasis on that as a story because they keep on accusing these people of being thugs. And I'm like, all right, first of all, I'm starting to relate to this and I don't like that.
I feel called out in the wrong ways.
You just assume somebody's a thug, okay? You said it like you do have proof that they were animals. But all they do is fucking respect and love each other and support each other in all their big time moments.
In all their endeavors, criminal as they may be.
I mean, you know, that's a whole other story. But in regards to the family unit, Solo even opened his arms to all of them. He said,
Yeah.
all you gotta do is acknowledge me. We can all be family together. Like, Roman lost the belt. I'm just trying to fucking do nature. Like, what
I
the
think we
fuck are y'all
turned
gotta
Mac.
do? He said he's convinced Solo's bloodline.
I love
They
you.
love each other. He's never. Roman spent 4 years manipulating his family and shit, and Solo's just like, I love these guys. And they love me.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I always pointed to the fact that like I feel bad that not feel bad. I'm more annoyed that like this part of it doesn't get brought up. I've always pointed to the fact that Solo was never there as part of the family. Solo was an appointed member sent down by the elders for a reason we never really got cleared up.
Because Jay couldn't get into Saudi Arabia.
Shit.
The elder sent a sperm.
Well, they worked that out, didn't they? The elder sent Solo down there, and Solo was never truly, while technically by every purpose family, Solo was never one of them.
Yeah.
And like the whole point of making Solo the heir apparent was like to be spiteful. You know, for Roman to be spiteful toward Jimmy.
Exactly. I forgot about that shit. I got your other brother here instead of you. There's always other brothers. I can get another one.
Yeah, like that's why Solo was the next in line to fuck with Jimmy, because he knew Jimmy wanted it.
I dig it. I can dig it. Listen, I'm coming. Like I said, I'm coming around on the story, at least even without Dwayne's involvement, which I thought was going to be a hindrance. And it kind of did hold him back a few months where like there was a perception issue. But as time has gone on, it's become easier and easier to accept Solo and his group as like the top heels on SmackDown. Probably standing up against Roman is helping. They pinning Roman tonight, as he did, certainly helped that.
That he most certainly did, pin Roman.
He pinned Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa pinned the former tribal chief. Is he like officially the tribal chief now? I feel like there's gotta be. There's gotta be. There's gotta be rules. And he did pin the tribal chief, and so that brings us to the post match.
By the way, I do want to note for everyone who out there who keeps trying to note that like, in the end of it all, like the real tribal chief is The Rock. I'm like, no, The Rock is the high chief. That is above, sir.
Yeah, he made sure to remind everyone of that on the family poster. If you can,
it is not the same thing.
The high chief. Is he really a high chief? Did they give him that honorary title or something once? I feel like if anybody's gonna be.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I just assumed that happened quietly, and then he introduced us to it.
That's also true, because I feel like we've heard of him going to like Samoa, and they've done like ceremonies and shit, and like he got tattoos in the traditional way and all that shit.
Oh, did he? He got the old chisel.
I thought so. Might be thinking of somebody else.
Right.
Didn't he? He's the fucking Rock. You couldn't go get the real tats? No way. Come on.
Yeah. I always imagine like if this was a different show with different writing, there would be a lot of that weird talk about like The Rock being an outsider and a half breed and all that.
He's not one of us. You know his blood is tainted.
which opens up so many troublesome doors.
It's the kind of storylines Bobby Lashley was pitching.
Oh boy! Oh, Bobby!
The match itself, the 6-man. I didn't think it was anything like special, but it did tell its story.
Yes.
It did have a thing to say, and it said it. Jay and Roman And the original Bloodline, they're not on the same page yet, even though they are saying they are. They are not.
They are clearly not. I think the only thing the match. I want to say that. Okay, I'm not going to say this. It's not a problem that the match itself suffers from, because it's a long running problem. It suffers from the problem that Solo is not an intriguing heel.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he just. Yeah, for some reason he just struggles with that. God have always been a solid tag team. Me and you have watched God be a solid tag team for several years in New Japan. Thankfully, they don't wear Iron Man helmets anymore, but that's fine.
That's illegal.
Yeah. But they're good at their job, and obviously Jacob Fatu just overshines him at every turn. But the guy in the middle of it all ends up being Solo, and Solo just is like dead in the eyes, it seems, or something.
There is something a bit lifeless about his performance, isn't there?
Yeah. Which is weird, because he is very expressive and he tries, but there's just something missing.
I like to think it accentuates the part of the story where Solo is an imposter.
Mac is quoting everyone's favorite Tama Tonga moment.
He's not supposed to be in the spot that he is. Oh man,
yeah.
Famous Ring of Honor moment. ROH fucking fucks over Tama Tonga and the God by not telling them they were gonna pull an angle, and he throws the belt at the press conference. Fuck out of here. Nobody care about this damn shit. But I think the Solo Sikoa thing, I felt it particularly when he raised his finger up in the air, like if he's the tribal chief. And there's it feels like an air of, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that helps the story. It really does, because it almost keeps people from rebelling against the outcome of this. Sometimes somebody just gets too over. Like if it was Jacob Fatu in that spot, you're not.
They'd be the faces.
You're not gonna want him to lose. You're not gonna want him to fail. And that doesn't always help this story that you're telling, especially reaction wise. When you want the crowd to react a certain way, and Jacob Fatu is killing puppies, and they're like, "Yes, kill more puppies!" if Solo Fatu kills puppies, they're gonna call the police on him.
Yeah.
I think that at least he has that going for him. The problem is that what happens after the story's over, right? But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
100%. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns finds a way to be electric while doing nothing.
It's the facials, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever acting classes he took in that COVID time off paid off significantly. Pay that man more.
There are people complaining, but I don't agree with complaints about Roman as a babyface so far. I think we've done this pretty as good as you can without shifting his character, making him do things that are out of
What are they complaining about?
If you ask me, they just haven't, because of the nature of Roman's schedule and how many times he appears on TV, they haven't given this part of him. It's not even a different side of him. He's just trying to get his shit back.
Yeah.
He hasn't had enough screen time, I think. That's
okay.
The only reason I can.
Oh yeah, because
have problems.
Roman is sort of a babyface by anointism, because it's not like he's changed as a person.
Yeah.
I assume there is a slightly better relationship between him and Jimmy now.
Max says Roman's an asshole. Join me in acknowledging Solo. It's the truth, man. How can you argue with it when you look back in history? But yeah, what were you saying, Greg?
Basically just assumedly there's a better relationship between him and Jimmy now, because they're together, and despite whatever they went through because of Roman, Jay and Jimmy are willing to rebuild that bridge between themselves, I think as a strength of the story, I think both Jay and Jimmy realize that the only problem between them is the giant Roman monolith.
They should probably turn on him at some point. If
Maybe, right?
They owe him that one.
You know, so it becomes a point of like, okay, most of the people are cheering for. I don't think it's even worth looking at Roman Reigns as such a quote clean babyface as much as like people cheer for him because they like Roman Reigns. That's just the way it's been at this point. And we have put him in a position to be the guy who faces off against Solo the heel because we want that group back. We want the Bloodline to be back where it should be. But I don't think that Roman has like turned so necessarily.
Well, now if you ask Kevin Owens, he'll be like, "Fuck, what the fuck is you doing?" I always knew he never turned. That's why I told Cody not to fuck with that guy.
Yes.
And thus, Kevin is right. But Mac brings up that Jimmy and Roman never actually had a problem. Jimmy was still trying to help him at WrestleMania. Well, I mean, he kind of had a problem, and then he turned back, and that was like, I don't think we've ever really got a full-on explanation. Like,
yeah,
wasn't it Jimmy who turned first, and then Jay turned to join Jimmy,
and then Jimmy turned back, and then suggested the reason he did it was to protect Jay from
becoming like him or something like that.
But also like. It's always been clear that Jimmy opines for Roman's spot because he needs it to make everything better.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how things ended up, but harkening back to those days, post-match, Roman's about to get beat down, and it probably was his fault too because he didn't just stay down. Like he lost and then tried to get up and attack Solo, and Solo put him back down. Like, dude, he just jumped his ass. That's what I'm saying. This motherfucker doesn't change. Roman doesn't change, and they fucking put his ass back down, and then Sami Zayn runs out. Sami comes out and he's conflicted. I wish they would have maybe shown some video clips of Solo actually standing up for Sami and protecting Sami back when the Bloodline thing was happening, because then this would have been more convincing. I think there would have been.
It's funny because I saw Mac mention that too, and I don't remember that so much because Solo says so little. I remember Jimmy standing up for Sami.
You know when it happened specifically? There was a couple times where because the Usos weren't eye to eye on Sami for a while, and one of the Usos was going to attack Sami, and then Solo just kind of stood in front of him like, what are you doing? But there was also the trial, right? Wasn't Solo going to kill Sami?
Yes, he was. You want to fight for this? This doesn't mean anything to you? I'm done. Solo! And Solo was just like, it's gotta happen, dog. Oh, you lose your plug. John has been unplugged from the Matrix.
Got too excited. Yeah, so their history has been interesting, but then I feel like, you know what it is? I watch a lot of television, and not like to the point where I don't got no life, but I get money from watching TV. But usually when a show is very long form, when you show the recap before a chapter, you show exactly the parts that you need people to know.
Previously on X-Men.
Right? And then you just show the things that you need them to know for this.
Everything that is pertinent to this episode today.
So I feel like wrestling doesn't utilize clips enough like that anymore. Or maybe they used to. I really think they used to. But we just don't.
They used to be better at it.
Yeah, they did used to be better at it. And it's bad. Yeah. And I always talk about AEW too. I'm like, show the clips.
Yes.
We need clips. This Solo Sami thing actually would have hit a little harder if we would have shown them clips. But,
by the way, that previously on X-Men thing only got through because they convinced them it would save them money.
You're right. We could just play clips. Shit.
It is 1 minute and 30 seconds less of having to do animations and lip flaps.
That's actually why some of Naruto, when it was catching up to the manga, they would just spend like 10 minutes of 22 minutes showing like flashbacks of things that happened
really
an episode ago. Like, that just happened. Why are we flashing back?
The clip show.
It's not a clip show. That's the craziest thing. No, we just needed to remember this whole ass scene. No, we're saving money. We're just saving money. But yeah, Sammy comes out, goes back and forth with Solo, and eventually he goes in for a hug. But it's not a hug. It's an exploder suplex. Sammy fucking attacks him. The Bloodline go to fight each other, and they clear the ring. Only Solo is left in the middle. They're going to, I don't know what the fuck they were going to do to him. I thought they were going to
give him a very aggressive group hug.
There was no way that ended well, actually, because how the fuck were we doing? You could do 4 big boots, you all break your leg. 4 spears, you all crash into each other's head. A big boot and a spear doesn't really work, especially at the position that they were in.
No, unless you spear him in the back, and then you would actually break that man in half if you think about what would happen to his body.
They were trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking, it doesn't work. Thankfully, Solo was not killed. He rolled out of the way. Sammy kicks the dog shit out of Roman Reigns. He goes down. He kicked the shit out of him.
Actually, well, wasn't it a Superman punch and a big boot?
If it was a Superman punch, that makes more sense.
Yes.
How the fuck was he standing up? He does go for something, and Solo gets out of the way, and he catches a big boot in the face. And Jimmy,
I believe Sammy also gets punched.
He did get punched.
They took each other out.
That's that anime shit right there, boy.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So we get this shot. I thought was interesting. This is Sami Zayn has cost Roman here his moment.
They love this shot.
They really do. Roman. It's the realization with the causation in the background.
Yeah.
They like that shit.
They do.
So that means it's gonna be a couple more weeks of trying to figure out.
I thought it was interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it was interesting that Jay didn't leave with him.
That's interesting too. You're right.
Because that's what I was expecting to happen. I thought, okay, Jay is gonna leave with Sammy, and it's gonna be like that's the tie. It's Jay and Sammy and Jimmy and Roman, and then Jay stayed with the family. I was just like, oh.
But he did at least stick up for him verbally. But he was like, hey man, it was an accident. Like, we were watching from each side. And I mean, I guess, even theoretically, they could have both seen two different two different angles of the fucking big boot.
Yes.
To Jimmy, it could look like he did it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, to Jimmy, it could look like Solo was already out of the way and he had a chance,
He could have stopped, like he's still fucking around. So yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Pretty cool way to open the angle stuff. Anyway, it felt like two chapters worth of development in this.
Yeah, Roman, who's just uninterested in a lot of this, now is like down on Sammy and Jay.
We got after this match, there was some news that they didn't mention on the show, which I thought was strange. But maybe they did and I missed it. But I got the news from online from them.
Talk to me.
Goldberg retiring.
Yes, no, I never heard this on the show myself either. So
right, I was like, that's a pretty big thing to announce during the show, but never on the show. Do people know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna be having his final match in WWE in 2025. You ask me, it's probably gonna be WrestleMania, but they didn't really announce that. And I guess the question becomes, who is Goldberg's final match? And
now, to be clear, there is only one match for Goldie. There is no tour like Tanahashi-san and Cena and Juan Cena.
How appropriate, right? That the two workhorse legends and this one-hit wonder. No.
Like, no, I'm going out with a year of work, though.
Goldberg's like, I think I got one. You haven't wrestled in how many years? What do you mean retirement match? Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Credit to him, I'll say, even though like the Theory match wasn't much, I think I don't remember what he did after that, but I know he did wrestle. Cena looks a lot better in the ring than Tanahashi does these days.
Yeah, but I mean, that's Tanahashi's just fucking broken.
Tanahashi also just made poor decisions with his body than Cena did.
How cool would it have been if he actually didn't do a tour and just took a year off and then came back for one match where he could put 4 minutes in?
Just be the president, Tana. Come on, man.
Relax.
You don't need to tag Yoshihashi. Nobody needs that.
It kind of feels like the Gunther match is probably the obvious destination.
Yes.
Gunther, considering they cross paths already.
Do they have anything? And this is just off the top of my head. Do they have anything coming up in Atlanta? Because to me, that's the right place for Goldberg to retire.
It just fucking passed.
Did it? Oh shit!
Yeah,
it did.
He was. That's where him and Gunther had the confrontation.
That's right.
In Atlanta.
Oh, Bad Blood was in Atlanta. Crap.
You know what? I don't want the Gunther match to be at WrestleMania either because I had dreams of the Gunther versus Cena. Like I was like, damn.
Did
man.
you?
Listen. Everything made sense to me to do John Cena versus Gunther and then give Cena his Gunther.
I heard Gunther.
No, Gunther is like a kind of drug.
It does sound like that.
Take that, Gunther. But no, I had these dreams of John Cena winning his 17th World Championship from Gunther. It was what it was. Him versus Cody is probably bigger, I guess.
Sure, I kind of already written in what Gunther's match was going to be at WrestleMania.
What'd you have for him?
You don't want it.
What the fuck is that? What were they going to do at WrestleMania, Greg?
With Gunther? It was going to be CM Punk.
Oh, fuck. No, they got to do that. They can do that next fucking month. Or this month. Get that shit out the way. No. Get that
That's
shit
why I said
out the way.
That's why I said you don't like it.
Get it. Do it at Survivor Series. Where's Survivor Series? Max is right. I don't want it.
Because the story's always been Punk wants that main event WrestleMania spot.
Fucking damn it.
And he's been chirping at Gunther. The two things add up.
It does make sense, at least if they're gonna get
night one, baby.
I wonder how much real estate Dwayne is going to be taking at WrestleMania this year.
The WrestleMania that he is absolutely certain he is cleared and available for.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, agents.
Guys,
no.
Why is nobody talking?
What do you mean? No, it's next week. Dwayne. Yeah, we'll see though. WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania has kind of started. I liked when the road to WrestleMania starts at Survivor Series. I missed that.
Really?
We've gotten so hard on the gimmick being that it starts at the Royal Rumble. I miss
because it's
Yeah, but when you watch Survivor Series, it was when the real road started. Like, okay, the fucking guys who are gonna fight at WrestleMania somehow bumped into each other backstage for the first time ever. Like, oh
sure.
Shit, I didn't even know I wanted to see this match. Oh my god. The branding. They would put the fucking things on the t-shirts. Early, you buy a Survivor Series shirt, it said fucking WrestleMania 20 on the back of the thing on the top, even though it was like 2003. I don't know. It just made everything feel so important.
I understand what you mean.
Priest is winning the 4-way on Raw and getting Gunther at Survivor Series. That's so ass. But let me tell you why that's not happening. That boy Finn Balor is still lurking, and he's still not done. He's actually specifically said that he's not done with Damian Priest. But
Damian Priest will never see a happy day in his life as long as I work here.
The first day after the pay-per-view, he walked on the Raw, and he was like, "I'm here to fucking deal with that Damian Priest shit." And then Adam Pearce was like, "No, you're not. You're the tag team champions. You haven't defended that belt in like 3 months. Deal with that." As they have been dealing with that, but he's not letting that shit happen. If you ask me, Dom is winning that title shot, and that only makes sense. He pinned Damian Priest last week to put himself in world title contender.
Yes, he did. Who's number 4?
What was that? Oh, the other people in the match.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio.
Well, I know who ain't winning it.
Damn sure ain't Rollins. And damn
It's
sure
the guy.
Sheamus.
It was like the guy who was sitting at the desk for this pay-per-view event. Excuse me, for this PLE event. Damn sure ain't winning it.
Pre-show Sheamus.
Yes.
Oh fuck.
I didn't even see. Here's the sad thing. I didn't even see pre-show Sheamus. I saw post-show Sheamus, who was just like, "Oh, is it time?"
I like wrestling.
I didn't look interested.
But yeah, he's probably so. Honestly, Dominic Mysterio makes the most sense to me, and it's also the most interesting outcome.
Yeah,
I think.
Yes. Well, on paper, I'll say like there's obviously an interesting outcome in Seth versus Gunther. I don't think it's that time for Seth yet.
No, he's gonna get his ass beat.
Yeah, more beatings.
More beatings.
The beatings. You think the beatings have ended? They have just begun.
We had so after this, we did have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match.
Yes.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Metaphor, Lash Legend, and Jakara. Fuck.
Jakara Jackson.
Jakara Jackson. I was gonna say Jakira. That's like why was I gonna say that? Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend versus Damage Control versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Yes.
And Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair walked out into that stage, and you saw those rhinestone-covered outfits. I knew that was a bad idea. There is no substance in the world that keeps rhinestones on an outfit while you're bumping. Not only that, I didn't think that they would fall off. I thought to myself, the poor wrestlers who have to splash onto them and lift them up and slam them, and they're gonna be getting sliced up and cut up every which way. Like you go for a shoulder tackle and you've got 3 fucking rhinestones inside of your body.
Right.
Oh God. But it was that was honestly for the beginning. I thought that was gonna be the highlight of the match, but the girls actually. They put in at a certain point in the match, they hit like a turbo button, and they just started doing high impact moves and moving a little faster, and it felt like somebody hit a button. And maybe I can talk about the pacing issues, but I was so happy to see them actually turn that on and actually move. I was like, this is entertaining. Unfortunately, the crowd did not give a shit. They showed no interest in seeing women wrestle, I think, but
probably not.
Jade and Bianca did retain, and it's those rhinestones that you can see. It was funny. There were so many of them all over the ring by the end of the match that I think somebody did a splash off the top rope, and it was just like a fucking wave of jewels bounce up and down at the same time. Funny visual.
Yes.
What do you think of this match, Greg?
I think they did the best they could with all the traffic they could. Obviously, my favoritism is going to go towards Io Shirai and Kairi Sane for just being not only just very good at what they do, but probably having the best use of just pants and outfits for this situation. Shikara and Last Legend look overwhelmed by the situation.
It was a lot for them for sure. I was like, but I thought they pulled it out in the
sure. They got to pull off a very cool tag move.
Yeah, they did do the thing over the
electric chair powerbomb gimmick.
Mac dropping some bombs out there. Yikes!
Oh Jesus Christ! So yeah, they did like the electric chair powerbomb gimmick to Kairi's. I think it was to Kairi.
To the outside, yep. Threw her ass. Tossed her ass.
Tossed it, yeah. So that was cool for them. There wasn't a ton that happened. It was working on so many levels. Like the thing I remember the most is Chelsea Green just like Mm-mm-mm. Ah! Mm-mm-mm. And
So
then
good,
just
man.
jumping into Piper Nevin's arms.
She's so good with her fucking character. It's a shame
She
that
is.
they didn't get the win tonight. They could have got. I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
With them getting
But,
the belt.
Jade
belts
and Bianca
back.
retain. They.
But I also know you just want them off Jade and Bianca.
I want Jade to do something. God damn it! This is so regressive for her. Like this is such an anchor. These belts are like such a fucking anchor. There are people saying Lash Legend is better than Jade Cargill. I've seen a lot of people say that, and it makes me sick. I'm like,
I think those people are also like just very dedicated NXT fans.
but there's not. It's almost not fair because Lash Legend is on NXT and she is having matches, and they go and they make appearances that are significant to the people that watch NXT. And meanwhile, Jade's here doing fucking appearing every couple weeks, 5 minutes in ring time at best.
Yeah.
This is not good for Jade's perception. This is not good for her development as a wrestler. This is not good for Jade Cargill, period. So I really hope they start getting her those movie roles she wanted or whatever, because otherwise I'm really disappointed in the run so far.
I guess the question I would ask is it better off for her in the sense that if we have gotten our fan base to love her, the heel turn will do the job it needs to do.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, the story thing, it'll work. I think if they're going to turn Bianca, then people will be...
Bianca?
Or turn Jade on Bianca. People are going to be invested because they like Bianca. I don't think they'd be as invested unless Bianca turned on Jade. It doesn't really work because Jade can't carry that by herself.
As we've learned, Bianca will turn down heel turns,
and she's not. She's got a point, and that's always a good point. When you're an inspiration to that many fucking children, it feels uncomfortable making them sad on purpose.
Yes.
My God, the fucking cancer kids. Like they're not gonna like this. There's but yeah. I've seen Jade Cargill, I know what Jade Cargill's capable of. I watched her from that first match with Shaq to the last one with Chris Statlander. That's a whole other person. So those last matches, those longer matches, because they were getting longer and longer as the PBS title reign went on, and then for the final few matches, they were like 15 to 20 minutes. And she was fucking performing, and we were enjoying. And she was adding shit to her repertoire. I think at one point she was doing frog splashes.
Repertoire.
She was growing as a performer, and that's why I feel like 3 more years, just 3 more years. She should have signed a 3 more year deal in AEW before going to WWE. She would have come to WWE, and they would have had no choice, first of all, but to push her on top. But she would have been ready for it. It would have been such a much better situation for her. I think she got excited, but she's older, and she probably figured, I don't got time. I don't have 3 years. Well, we'll see what the next 2 years look like.
And that is a tough situation to be in, right? I could dedicate 3 years to AEW, but 3 years is a long time at that age. And when you're an older talent with WWE, they'll look at you differently. And then at the same time, it's also, I am what I am now, and pro wrestling is unpredictable. What if I get injured in those 3 years? And now I'm really not the talent I was when they first looked at me and gave me an offer.
No knees. Where are my knees? I had knees, now they're gone. That's usually how it goes.
And this time NXT didn't collect them.
No, man. I think there's still time to turn it around, but as of now, I'm officially disappointed. I'm like, before I was like, all right, give it time. But now I'm just disappointed. So now I think we have time to recover. we still do. I'm being optimistic. I don't want to hear no bullshit. I'm not shitting.
I think the recovery will be there. I think the presentation is good. I think they're obviously happy with her because they keep putting her on TV.
Yep.
I think I told you before. I think this is a WrestleMania story, and you just have to. You just gotta stand on the treadmill and let it happen, John.
Just roll and just roll and just roll until January.
You're just at the airport and you're on that walkway. You just gotta let it get to the other side.
We'll get there. Max says everybody was saying that once Jay got to the PC and had proper training, she would be better. They never put her in the PC.
She didn't spend much time there though.
They had time when she arrived in October and then spent all that time off TV until the Rumble and then again off TV until just before WrestleMania. You would think that that's what she was doing, but she wasn't, right? She had a loss in the family and she was taking a grief period. And so
I don't remember. I forgot that.
Yeah, man, she lost her mom and she had taken a period of time for grief. And people thought she was training, so when she comes back, she'll be better.
Yeah.
She was home.
On bereavement leave, dog.
Yeah, man. She was dealing with real life. But yeah, this match was what it was, and I did not hate it, but I actually thought they worked really hard.
Yeah, it's difficult when you have, like, here's 8 minutes, get spots for everyone.
And again, part of me feels like this is kind of the bad thing about just 5-match cards, but yeah, it is what it is. We had Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, and they had a big big old spotlight on them.
Yes, for the obvious reasons.
It was equal. But yeah, we moved on. We had Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Bronson was out here with this MF Doom inspired gear that you can't. Let me get rid of this little ticker on the bottom so you can really see that. It was actually really cool. MF Doom died 4 years ago on October 31st.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 4 years already, first of all. What the fuck? Second, very cool anniversary thing. I appreciated that. All caps when you spell the man's name. But Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed come out here and they had a damn
Kaiju cast.
Kaiju cast.
All K's.
All K's. Kaiju cast. Oh no, Greg. No, just 2 K's. We don't go past 2 K's.
Oh Jesus!
Kaiju cast.
I hate you.
Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, they actually had a really good match. I had a really good time with them. There was a lot of Bronson Reed not just throwing Rollins around, like the man can perform, okay?
Yeah.
He can bump when it's time to take bumps, and they look devastating. They don't look sloppy. He doesn't look sloppy when he's doing his shit either, when he's getting his heat in. He looks great. And I mean, I don't know how Seth Rollins feels after the match, but I'm presuming that he didn't squish Seth Rollins multiple times. That the cannonballs or the splash, the sentons or the fucking the body slam into the chairs was particularly nasty. Actually left Rollins with cuts and bruises on his back.
Ooh,
but. God, that's just the name of the game. That was a pretty risky spot. You can't really say there's no real safe way to do that. You just gotta throw his ass into those chairs.
You can throw them as perfectly as you want, but the chairs are gonna react how the chairs react.
Chairs will be chairs. No.
Who was it that dove into them and then they didn't move? Man, was it Shotzi?
Shotzi twice. She did it once in Evolve, and she just
okay.
And then it was Mia Yim that did it in NXT. She like crashed into the fucking
bang. Max says, they were so solidly set up that he just went boom.
Max says he was riding for Bronson for 4 years. For 3 of them years, Vince was booking him like a piece of shit. But
I wasn't a madman. I knew him when he was Jonah.
We knew he was a maniac for fucking taking a WWE deal after beating Okada in the first place. And then they fired him and they were going to send his ass back to Australia. You forgot about that shit, Mac?
Yes.
It was the booking. It was never Bronson Reed.
I also remember he was planned for the 2K games 2 years in a row and both times got cut to the point where his gear was in the game for 2 years without him.
It's all good. He's getting pushed very well now. I think the way they're using him is perfect. perfect for Bronson Reed. He
Yes.
is a monster, and he last
Let him
week-
retire Goldberg.
Yeah, kill him though. Like murder. Like,
10 slashes.
10 slashes, the spears. The fucking I want him dead. But no, they did a thing on Raw where Rollins curb stomped him into the car hood, and then he turned around and cut a promo and talked shit, and Bronson Reed slowly woke up behind him and started killing medical people. And I was like, wow, I hope they're consistent with that. Like, that just needs to be him forever. You should never be able to beat him with a finisher, no matter who you are. Cody should never be able to pin him with a single fucking cross.
You gotta pull out the Trinity, man.
The Trinity he's been doing it a little too much. He gotta do 4 of them shit.
Doing it to Solo was a lot. I understood the reason for Solo, but I also was just like, ugh.
Yeah, like, oh, now we fucking the Roman thing.
The idea was like, oh, you want to be Roman, I'll treat you the same as Roman. So I got it,
yeah.
but at the same time, I was like, but Solo.
So they did this time at the end of the match for the go home spot before they go into the actual angle, or excuse me, the actual spot. Fucking Bronson falls, trips. He was supposed to, but the fucking stairs were still up, like they were still standing up, and the thing is diagonal. So the lower you go, fucking closer you get. And he fell and hit his fucking head right on the goddamn corner of the stairs. Busted his shit open. And then he has to take 3 curb stomps. He takes 1 into the stairs, 1 into the ring, and then a super 1 off the top rope for Rollins to finally get the victory. That was really fun. And then he kind of did the same thing again where Rollins is leaving and he thinks shit is all sweet, and the monster just gets up off the thing. The blood, first of all, nasty cut, but the blood, because he was laying down, kind of dripped backwards onto his head, and when he stood up, it started dripping back down towards his face. So she creates this excellent visual of this defeated monster who's not actually defeated. Perfect ending there. I thought if they're gonna do this match again, which it seems like they will, then Bronson Reed losing and getting up like this makes sense. But if they're not, then Bronson really could have used that over his Rollins. Like, actually really would have been real nice for him. But I assume they'll be back. They'll go back to that. What did you think of this match and everything like that, Greg?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great showcase for Bronson Reed. I thought Seth Rollins was great at being appropriately giving to Bronson Reed to, make him look like the big bad motherfucker that he is. I don't know if I'd say there was stuff left on the table, because when you do a top rope curb stomp, it's kind of hard to figure out what's left. But they're definitely looking at whatever the future of what future these two have in a match, and I'm curious to see what it is.
I don't. It's this is just the way wrestling works. Rollins is at this moment more valuable wrestler.
Sure.
We literally pay him more.
Yes, we do.
And he's been taking losses. He's been putting people over. He put over Damian Priest. He put over. He did the Cody Rhodes thing where he was like second string, but they had to keep calling him MVP. No, you're the guy who held it all together. He was like, you're
the architect.
We needed you, right? You're the man. And then he was like broken knees, fucked up legs. And he's like, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I was world champion yesterday. Yeah.
So he put over Drew McIntyre, put over Damian Priest, and it was probably time for him to get a win so that when it comes time for him to put people over, he still has value.
Yes.
I get it, but also Bronson Reed, he's over as fuck. I love it. Really close to taking out his eye. Max says, remember the first time Rollins took somebody's eye on the steps? Hey,
no, not.
I remember Big Show doing it to himself. The same exact way. He fucking fell face first into the stairs that were standing up. Knocked his fucking eye open. Gave himself a gusher. But yeah, man, fun match. And then we move on from that. Following the Seth Rollins Bronson Reed match, we had, excuse me, god damn, Liv Morgan defeated Nia Jax to become the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel champion.
Yes.
It was what it was. Honestly, I didn't like this match, but
I thought they had a pretty good pace going, like in the beginning, and then all the hokey fucky shit started happening.
Well, there was that, but there was also it was kind of sloppy. Maybe because my TV's too big, but there was just so
that's why
there was just so much like fluffery and people missing things and people taking little baby bitch bumps, and I was like, Nia takes one of Liv's. She takes Liv's thing. What is it called? It's just a flatliner.
The finish?
Yeah, the finish.
Oh, the Oblivion.
And she does the damn somersault. I hate that so much. God, I hate. You don't like the rolling you don't like the rolling DDT bump on it? Take your fucking flat bump and get the fuck out of here, man. With your fancy bullshit that makes you miss your whole head.
No, but see, we also like. That's the weird thing about the move in a sense when you think about the WWE framing situation. You have to take the bump and then try your best to sort of roll your ass toward the middle of the ring, but Liv has to also pin you in a way that's good for the camera.
Jesus.
You know what I used to talk about, and it was also Nia Jax. You remember when Nia Jax had the Samoan drop as a finish?
Yeah.
But she had to look at the camera and then do the Samoan drop. But then she had to go around her opponent so she could look at the hard cam during the pin.
It'd take you fucking 3 extra seconds, and you're like, well, now I look like shit laying here on the ground this fucking long.
And Nia looks like a dummy for walking around and then covering you.
Like the dog, when the dog goes to sleep and it does the whole circle, and you're like, why? I don't know, man. It's a fucking instinct.
It's just how it works. It don't work no other way.
So it was a lot of that. And of course, there's always reasons, right? I'm not saying like, but Tiffy comes out, like you said, we begin the fuckery. Tiffy runs out and she acts like she's gonna cash in. Why isn't it showing the damn Liv Morgan, the Tiffany Stratton picture? Stop it!
I see Tiffany Stratton.
You do? I see Randy Orton.
I see Tiffy and Nia Jax.
Now I got him up.
Okay.
Tiffy comes out and she's like, I'm gonna cash in on Liv, and Nia's like, bitch, what are you doing? And there was this hilarious little boy in the front who was like trying to convince Nia Jax to, it was on Liv. He was gonna cash in on Liv, not you. And he was just so into that shit. He had to be like Tiffany Stratton's #1 fan.
Nice.
I'm like, I can never get mad at the Saudis. Look at how much fun they're having. How you gonna blame them for their government's bullshit? Why you gonna blame me? I gotta fucking. Our government ain't that fucking nice.
I texted you just going, how funny would it be if Tiffany Stratton cashed in on the Crown Jewel Championship?
She actually was out here. She looked kind of silly too when they do this thing where she's like, I was gonna cash in on Liv. There's no reason in the world why Nia shouldn't have believed her. I'm like, why?
Right.
Why? There's no reason why she should have thought it was her.
I guess my only question in that situation, if Tiffany Stratton cashes in the Money in the Bank, is the Crown Jewel belt still part of the equation? Does that change the match?
Triple H comes out and he's like, they got to do the whole, no, I'm sorry, I gotta take that back.
Yeah, right? Because I think that's a decent reason for Nia Jax to be upset about the situation. Like you would have taken the match away from her.
Okay, they should establish that, because that would make sense.
Yeah.
Would make sense.
That's something you need to actually say on camera. You can't just like depend on me to bring that up. But
I'll submit that to their WWE fan box that they have.
Good to know.
They don't read. So all of this distraction allows Liv to hit that Oblivion, the one that I was talking about earlier, and get that
Oblivion.
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 Liv Morgan gets this big old belt. Triple H has to yank her into the position so she can stand in front of the pyro because she keeps looking at the hard cam.
She's ready to go for the big yay, and no, not now.
This way.
Stop it.
He just pulls her. We got her behind us. He pulls her into the thing. Fucking excellent. I just thought that was funny as hell. Here we go. I have it up. Yeah.
Like no, this way.
His face.
I also like how her outfit makes it look like she is also the Judgment Day champion.
She is the Judgment. She's the champion of all Judgment Day. Finn Balor was having issues with them last week, so I wonder if
Liv 3 belts over here.
She's got a ring. She was married by the company. But yeah, man,
the company gave her a ring before Dom did.
Oh, that's dirty. What did you think of this whole thing?
I'm sorry, I got distracted from Mac teaching us why dogs spin. I was cool with it. I thought Liv Morgan was the right choice. Liv Morgan's who we put all the heat on for all of this, and like they did it the exact way you should have. You know, Nia Jax loses the match because of her weird relationship with Tiffany Stratton, and Liv Morgan gets to be on top again because that's been the whole point. Liv's back on top.
That's an innuendo.
That's a very Bondian innuendo.
I get it. It's I forgot Raquel Rodriguez was out here at one point.
Yes. The only one not in a complicated all covering outfit is like I picked up a sweater.
I just wore a shirt. Why didn't you fucking think of that? So, yeah, man, fun stuff. And then we had Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton.
Yes.
Versus Randy Orton. The match never happened. Randy and Kevin fought each other to a no disqualification. I mean, to a no contest.
Yes.
Kevin attacked Randy before the bell even rung, which I feel like it's guaranteed. Like he was attacking Randy, and there was still a chance for the bell to ring. But I feel like once security comes out, and maybe my mind is trained from like 2K. Like once people start running out from the back to break it up, then that's officially a no contest.
No, yeah, like if people try to stop the fighting from the fighting match, then yeah, I don't think there's going to be any more fighting.
So Randy, Kevin, they brawled for about 15 minutes. They just fought each other. They beat each other with chairs. They attacked security and officials. Randy RKO's Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis got the fuck out of Dodge. I'm not getting one of those. I don't like wrestling anymore.
I thought it was just so great. Like Nick sat there and watched it happen and just went, he's like, I'm good.
Never mind. Business.
Owens does a big diving elbow drop through a table.
With the Cowboy Orton shirt on. That's right.
Yes.
Dirtbag. What an asshole.
Yes.
He does a big ass elbow drop, like Greg mentioned, off the balcony through a table. Drops.
You know what he was missing? John. I'll say this. It's a tiny little detail. It's a detail most people wouldn't even think about. He should have used the white tape so it looked like the cast.
Yeah. He actually dropped this elbow onto Orton's neck. He fucking brought this shit down like, Row! I was like, oh shit.
He hit him with the old Randy Savage one, like right across the throat.
I was like, oh shit. And they both lay out, and they're both dead, and then we moved on, and they cut off to some other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I thought this was the perfect way to take care of that. It established Kevin Owens as this deranged person. He's not no interest in having this match anymore. You fucked him up.
Yes.
He's pissed. There's no wrestling here. I don't care about wrestling. These guys hurt my feelings. If you thought he was mad about this, thought he was mad about Cody, I really want to know how he feels about Sami Zayn getting involved with all these guys. Like they're Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have had a long history, but the way that the story was told, you have to have that confrontation. I think.
Of course, yeah. The way the story is told is oh, what? Okay. The way the story is told, Sammy is doing the exact thing that he beats with Cody and Randy for. So, like, at some point, you have to be like, "Why you? We fought these guys. That was the point." I appreciate it. John didn't get to see it, although I imagine that the clip was on SmackDown.
What's that?
Kevin trying to sort of schmoz over the idea that, like, he has a history of turning on his friends, but, like, it's not the same thing.
I had seen him cut that promo before where he's like,
in the car.
Yeah, where he's like, most of the people I turned on, I didn't even consider them friends. Oh no, Triple H explained that to Orton. He was like, "Oh, those weren't friends, but you guys were his real friends." I was like,
well, he's like, I feel like the Jericho thing was really his friend. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. The Festival of Friendship. That was the They try to simplify it, but I'm sure I get what you mean. It's a little more nuanced than that, but I get what you mean.
It's just one of those weird things where it's just like for those guys, they're never really my friends. I was like, am I supposed to believe you on that point? The guy who turned on me?
You're an asshole, sir. But
it's like, I would have never done it to you. I'm like,
I don't think anybody should trust Kevin Owens.
No, I don't think so either.
Max says Kevin Owens is completely justified. Honestly, they didn't talk to him. I guess Cody's a grown man and he didn't have to consult his friends over all his decisions.
Right.
But knowing that Kevin Owens is a fucking nut job and has a short fuse and you call yourself his friend, I guess you should have known to address him or call him and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about teaming with Roman at this pay-per-view." They actually did. Kevin Owens and Kathy Kelly were in a sand dune buggy thing, and it flipped 3 or 4 times.
Really?
Show. Yeah. Kathy Kelly posted a video on Twitter of people trying to flip the thing back.
Wow. Okay.
Wheels. We were lucky that we didn't lose any of them. But he said, yeah, this is a quote from Kevin. "I flipped in a dune buggy 3 times and I walked away." Did you see Randy Orton tonight? What I did to him, he had to be carried. He's not happy. But it looks like they killed Orton, and if Orton's dead, then what's Kevin Owens' next move?
Yeah. Speaking of quotes, apparently somebody decided to single out a thing Corey Graves said on the broadcast, which is that Sami Zayn never misses an opportunity to virtual signal.
Oof. I don't know that I would have said that. Sami I think I would have ever said something like that.
On broadcast in front of several million people.
How would you say that on this show? Like, what? And then considering what is Sami Zayn, like, this Sami Zayn character is not known to do that. And then in real life, he's only ever spoken about causes that affect him and his people directly. So, like, what are you saying exactly? Like, why would you say that?
You just start looking at that Jennifer Lawrence gif. You're just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
You get carried away. I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Assume he got carried away. When you're a heel, you're looking for things to say like that. You probably didn't think twice and just kind of said it. I would hope. That's my hope. I don't think Sammy's gonna like that. Honestly, if he hears if that comes across his desk, I'm not sure that he's gonna be pleased. With that. I expect him to ask, "What did you mean by that?"
Max says Cody helping Roman, somebody who Kevin Louis killed himself to get rid of for 4 years. Only for Orton, somebody who Roman put out of action for 2 years, then takes Cody's side. Maybe I don't remember these things correctly. Sometimes I get mixed up. I feel like Roman was helping Cody?
Yeah, he definitely came out and helped Cody with the solo thing. Although, considering the kind of person he is and the fact that he hasn't changed, I would even say he was probably just manipulating himself into a situation.
Sure, but like, and even then, they do write that situation to be like Cody is done.
Yeah.
Until they make it personal.
Yeah. He does a couple times say no to him outright. Like, I don't want to do this.
Like, Cody wasn't involved until they beat on him, and then he's just like, well, fuck him. This ain't even about Roman.
Yeah. Fucking, that's what Max says. Cody was just going after Solo for himself. I mean, Roman was just going after Solo for himself. Cody just happened to be there. That's true. That's true. I would say that...
Don't they jump Cody?
They did jump. They did. They were gonna kill him in the cage.
When Cody tried to opt himself out of the situation.
I think Solo was gonna moonsault off the cage onto Cody.
Solo? Oh god, that's scary.
Not Solo. Can he moonsault?
I mean, if you're high enough up, you'll find a way.
I guess. But yeah, it's a fun situation. Story wise, you can see it from multiple angles, and that makes wrestling fun. It's not always like that. Usually it's cut and dry and easy shit. Mac is definitely standing up for Kevin Owens in this situation. Respect. I'm actually friends with Kevin Owens. I have once gave him a double high five, and he never turned on me. So I've got some clout.
You must be one of his true friends.
I'll talk to him. I'll see what's going on. We'll see how he feels.
I'll say this. I do think Owens is somewhat justified in his viewpoints.
I think it's good. One, that he believes himself is the most important thing, and that it's easy for us to believe that he believes himself. You don't look like a fucking deranged lunatic for thinking these things. It's a pretty easy train of thought to follow, even if you can poke holes into it. I have fun. I enjoy this, and I can't wait to see where they go with it. And it wasn't until the story that I realized Kevin Owens and the Bloodline were like mortal nemesis enemies. Like years singles matches and tag matches and world title matches and situations with each other. He is a very significant character in that storyline.
Yes. I'll say this. I think Kevin is somebody who, whether it gets through to the writing team or not, like, really pays attention to all of his own lore.
It's got to be a little bit of him suggesting, because it's like, maybe Ryan Ward was a big Ring of Honor fan. but by the way, Ryan Ward cameos this month too, and it's funny because they're both the same cameo but different ways. He always is the short bald man that walks by and gives a 5 to the wrestler in the shot. It's like, what? Okay. Yeah, it's just funny as fuck. I don't know why. Anytime a big baby face is walking down the hall, like Cody or Jay, hey, Ryan Ward, and he just keeps walking. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, good stuff. Can't wait to see where we go with this. I thought the main event was next when this show was on, but we still had a triple threat match. That's not it. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes versus the United States champion.
Almost forgot his name.
Night. Yeah. Night, man. For a little bit, it was funny watching Andrade and Carmelo do their thing while LA Knight was kind of a step behind.
Okay.
That was part of the story, I thought. That was like something they wrote into the match, because Andrade and Melo had been fighting for this is their 8th time in the ring together. Of course, them knowing each other and LA Knight being the odd man out, even if it works in a real life way with the wrestling styles, story-wise, it worked perfectly because this match was great. I didn't want it to be over when it was over. I was like, oh shit, we're done? This is great. There was, of course, that funny-ass moment at the end of the match where LA Knight crotched the shit out of himself. And that's, he was like, stop fucking leapfrogging that damn top rope. That is not your friend. That top rope does not
Yes.
like you.
LA Knight, while athletic, not the best coordination.
Just the top rope. Just leave the top rope springboard alone. That's the only thing. Everything else is good. You're fine.
But thank you for reminding us how special Shelton Benjamin is for just like always landing that fucker.
Perfectly and never with issue to make it look like anyone can do it.
I think I saw him kind of slip once, and he still saved it by just going for the suplex immediately.
Just dropping it immediately, yeah. Damn, I forgot who that is because I can see it clearly as you say it.
You remember the match? You remember the slip?
Yep.
Was it Kurt?
It might have been somebody who was able to move at the right moment and knew this is what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it had to be a high level person. But like Max said, double BFT went hard. It did.
Yes.
But it was memorable as fuck. That should be on highlight reels all the time. Actually,
after years of seeing it in the game, I only recently learned what BFT stood for.
What is it? Big fucking titty?
It would be if you had anything to do with it. I believe it's blunt force trauma.
That makes sense.
Yes.
But in the game, the BFT is not that, right? In the game, he kind of waits for the guy to get up, then he knees him in the head, and then he does
that. That was the BFT, I believe, in Impact.
Wow, I used to use that move as a call.
I believe that's what the BFT was in Impact I think he was using the air raid crash, and that was the gravy train.
The gravy train.
Yes.
He doesn't do that shit anymore. Well, how does one lose the air raid crash from their fucking? How does that fall off?
I would argue it's because like you have Sheamus.
Okay, that makes sense. That's right. He does the damn. I forgot what he calls it. The Irish
the white
curse?
noise.
The white noise. There you
the
go.
Irish curse is like the Uranagi backbreaker.
Yeah.
The only other guy I understand to use it was I know Ciampa used it in NXT.
He does use it because he does it, but he only does the Avalanche version.
Now, okay,
yeah,
sure. So when I knew Eli Drake in NWA, the BFT was that knee and the lariat, and the gravy train was the finish. So now it's that weird diamond stunner thing.
I don't like it. This double BFT is the only time I've ever been fully like, oh, that was really cool. I think that it plays too much into the idea that he's a Stone Cold The Rock cosplayer. Like, and we gave him a cutter. Like, but fucking kill me. You know, like, does he have a Uranagi as a signature? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Which is funny to me because like it's weird in the sense that I've always known it to be the Snapmare driver, but everyone's going to put the Steve Austin thing on LA Knight.
Because it's LA Knight. Like, if it was anybody else, you're fine. But he never used this fucking move. And then he comes to WWE, and that's the first thing he does. Like, we're just going to drive the nail in on this. Like, what? But, yeah, man, this was probably the first time that I was really cool with it, and it was Carmelo and Andrade performed the shit out of it.
Yes.
Good shit.
Carmelo taking the bump on the dome.
I was surprised that LA Knight didn't drop the bell here. I thought for sure.
I thought to myself that it would be kind of cool to see Carmelo walk out with the strap here.
That's what I thought. Yeah, the heel fucking takes advantage of these two babyface dickheads. But I guess
is Andrade a babyface? That's weird to me.
It is, isn't it? But I think LA Knight kind of shat on them on the SmackDown show where he's already proven that he can do heel things to them. So like,
okay,
you know, it's already kind of the dynamic is already fucked up. So it wouldn't have worked.
I guess so.
It wouldn't have worked. So I get it. But did you have any more thoughts about that match, Greg?
No, not really. I just I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job. I thought the finish was very cool.
Yeah.
I would have booked Carmelo Hayes to win, but like I don't know what their futures are. I don't know what they got LA Knight doing. I'll say this: I think they're in an interesting situation where, depending on what happens, like I feel like they're running out of baby faces over there on SmackDown.
Which is crazy because we were in the place where they didn't have heels. Remember, we were like, yeah, Kevin and Randy should probably turn on Cody so that they've got some more heels.
Right. So, Kevin turned, and then there's questions about Sammy, and it's just like,
I think Sammy will ultimately be a babyface, but he's on.
I agree.
I thought with Sammy and Jay on Raw, they've given themselves an excuse to spread the Bloodline thing over 2 shows.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, damn, that's kind of genius. If that was the way you planned it, like, oh shit. Anyway, but on SmackDown, they have I was gonna say somebody, Randy was gonna turn heel as well. It hasn't happened yet, but every time he gets near Cody, there's always a shot of Randy with eyes on the World Championship.
I do remember that, yes.
Even yesterday on SmackDown, he goes to the locker room to see Cody. The world title's hanging on the locker, and he's looking at the world title. Like, it's coming. Though with him being the victim in this Kevin Owens situation, it's honestly got a little weird, right? I guess he could turn on Cody and be like, "I lost my friend because of you too."
Yeah.
An asshole. But yeah.
It's also interesting putting Randy in that situation. Not the turn, but like Randy Orton world title match. Oh boy, feel like we've been here before.
He's fiending for it, which is interesting. They shouldn't give him the Gunther match. The Gunther match. I mean, we just randomly needed we need a vet. Who can he put over in Berlin?
Yeah.
He had never had a world title match, and it's been a year or however long since Randy had a world title match. His thirst would be a lot more justifiable. Like, damn,
I get that.
A long time. I'm drooling. The snake
I get that.
Viper.
Although I will argue that to some degree, even though the belt has gone through some revisions, that is one he's held before.
It is. He wanted that world title. It was 20 years. It had just been 20 years since he won the world title, so they wanted to commemorate that anniversary.
Yeah.
Interesting anniversary to commemorate, honestly. But considering everybody involved, you can't even show clips of it. But all right.
I just think it's curious, like, they can't all fight Cody, and we've got a lot of guys up there that need stuff to do. So maybe LA Knight would need to be freed up. I don't know. It was a thought I had. He says, Jon is not allowed to say the name of who he beat for that world championship. So CM Burns over here, like, who did he beat? Say his name. I think we're having some audio difficulties here from Jon. Oh my. Oh, now he's gone. It's just me. That's great. Yes, Jon's mic is indeed out. Yeah, I'm curious on my own. I'm curious what the plans are for a lot of the guys on the SmackDown side. Big Greg.
My whole shit is
welcome back.
My whole reality is distorted in the background. There we go. There we go. Anyway, what were we saying? Oh yeah, the fucking powers that be wouldn't let me say the name of Stevie Richards. Anyway, that was actually Crown Jewel. That was the event as a whole. As a total. That'll bring us to our 2 segments that we do weekly. I will use.
Yes.
Jobber of the night. Where's the graphic? There we go. A little late there. A little too late.
No, it was good for me.
Nice. Well, fuck. My whole situation is delayed here. Anyway, Jobber of the night. Greg, I'm gonna let you go first. Who did you think was the Jobber tonight?
I'm gonna say, I guess this is a tough one because I felt like most people did all right. I'm gonna say my Jobber of the night is probably Metaphor. I felt like those two felt. I said earlier they looked overwhelmed. I won't say lost, but like I just think they struggled with some things. I particularly pointed out a weird moment with you where like I think Piper threw not Piper. I think Jade throws Chelsea at Lash, and Lash just kind of dumps her in the most unsafe, sloppy way. So it was just like, oh god, girls, what's going on here? Yeah, I'm gonna say Metaphor. Also for having a terrible name. No audio again, John. John. Poor guy. Yeah, I thought Metaphor had a very tough night there. Personally, I've never seen Jakara Jackson. I think actually wrestle before this match.
There we go.
Yeah, I hear you.
She's not bad. I thought she was actually better than Lash.
Okay.
Most times, that on that night, on tonight, they were both pretty equal, especially in the ring with everyone else who's been in the ring a little longer. I actually thought my job of the night was also in this match.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say Jade, but it's not because of anything she did. It's because
Interesting.
we're in this holding pattern and it's affecting the way people see her. And I'm like, I hope that because everybody don't watch AEW. It's just the fucking truth. All they know is Jade has been on WWE TV, and all they know is what they've seen on WWE TV. So I'm seeing these more complaints that I don't even address because I'm like, what am I gonna tell somebody who just doesn't know? You just have to be given an opportunity to see the Jade that I saw, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I hated hearing people say Lash Legend is better than Jade Cargill. That pissed me off.
You want to try to explain lore to people that don't know what it is they're asking about?
No, Lash is not no way. Relax.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. She don't fucking book this shit. She's excited. She's probably happy with the way they're using it too. She's like, yeah, people like and know me. Yeah. Girl, it's falling apart down here. Help!
Nice.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. Max says it's Roman because he's still an asshole.
Of course.
He's an asshole though. But yeah, that brings us to our probably a little easier to choose from Megastar of the Night. Megastar of the Night.
Megastar.
Who was your Megastar, Greg?
You know, it's interesting, right? Because it's a night about like showcasing how big our stars are, not only in this nice, beautiful arena, but also with these champion versus champion main events. So I'm gonna pick somebody that I feel like wasn't in that position and got to shine. So I'm picking my boy Big Bronson Reed.
Big Bronson Reed.
I think Reed got to show that he could be put in this position and succeed, and that there is a future. God damn it, Mac! There is a future in this guy, in this character that they, one, not only had already fired, but two, had just been dog shit on for multiple years now.
Especially considering, we've seen some people who got brought back with him in the second round. They've just lost their jobs. They weren't able to get it right.
Just recently, in fact.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, he's definitely doing something right. They definitely believe in what he's doing and his potential. And now people like Mac, who did not give up on him, can feel justified in their fandom. I just like that they're booking him I like that they're booking him this way, but I like that they have this kind of character to book this way.
Yes.
This is somebody who could be a world champion, or at least in a top position. Usually they don't give these guys, or guys like him don't usually get long or significant world title runs, because unless you're Yokozuna, but they see them as attractions and they don't need the belt. So it's like a wasting. You're putting two attractions together by accident. So yeah, I don't think that Bronson Reed has a lot of top of the top moments ahead of him, but he'll be up there. He'll be on the top of the card. They'll use him like the beast that he is, and I'm happy.
It's also like not in their way to book to always book like the biggest badass as the big badass top heel. So he has to always be the biggest badass against your baby faces.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as you keep him wet, as long as you keep him like he's got to get wins before he can lose. Can't just lose and lose and lose. It's one of the things I hated about how Blanche Archer ended up being used. Like, man, if he had gotten more wins, it would matter more when he loses.
Yes.
So, that's the thing with the Bronson Reed. We can put him in a position now. We can build up a lot of credit. We can build up a lot of credit with Bronson so that when other people beat him and conquer this monster, they look nice too. And then we service all the fans. Bronson Reed fans are happy he got a bunch of wins. Everybody else who's happy for the next big thing is happy to see them win him on pin a monster. It's hard not to go with Bronson Reed as the megastar of the night because he was given this spotlight and he took a fucking full advantage of it. And he looks great. And it continues to happen. Did it with Bronson Reed. Did it with Rollins. Did it with fucking R-Truth and Miz. Like, it doesn't matter who they throw in there with him. He has looked great. So kudos, Mr. Bronson Reed. And kudos, Mr. Pencil Man. But
how about you, John?
Andre says, what are our opinions about the WWE cuts yesterday? It's
some of the guys who came back with Bronson Reed.
Yeah, Indy Hartwell got brought back, didn't make a name, and then got sent home. It sucks because she was hurt, right? For a lot of time, like they gave her the women's championship, and then she broke her ankle or some shit, and then they drafted her to Raw, and she had the broken ankle for the whole beginning.
Oh, that's right. She did win it in that ladder match, didn't she?
For a second, like the Dexter thing was the end. That was the end of her arc, and then they never started a new arc for her. They never did anything significant for her. She teamed with Candice LeRae, her mommy from NXT.
Yes.
They just kind of left it the way it was. It's not surprising.
I forgot she got hurt. I thought they just stopped booking her.
No, I was more surprised that she got released because she was just on TV. I was like, damn, girl, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
No, it was so fresh that she was on the taped episode of SmackDown after being fired.
Oof.
That's how fucking fresh it was.
Oof.
Jesus. Fightful says, and the other one is Nixon Newell, Tegan Knox. She had signed a 5-year deal in 2022, and she had one minor injury since then. Only one. They just weren't using her. Triple H gave up on her. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I think she even mentioned like being surprised that she wasn't even being used on one of the international shows recently.
She was like, I can't even get on Speed.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't even rest for 3 minutes.
She knew the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, I think so too.
She had a shirt made.
I'm curious. When was her last match? Go ahead.
She had a shirt made that says Nixon Lives, and she was able to post that the day that she got fired.
That's how you know she knew.
That's how you know she knew it was coming. Max says she did get on Speed. That's good.
That's a loaded statement.
She was on Speed. Was she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we can accuse people of being on Speed without piss testing them. No. Yeah, man. I mean, there's no real surprise, Andre. Unfortunately, Baron Corbin had been there for 12 years, and they gave up on him. And then he helped them with Braun Breaker, and he didn't get a single reward.
Really?
He didn't get anything for that. Yeah, they did the tag run on NXT.
No, I'm sorry. I went to look up her last broadcasted match, and the number might surprise you.
When was it?
It says, I believe, it is. It was January. I want to say January 4th.
Damn.
No, excuse me, April 1st. April 1st. It's cage match and it's European. The dates. It's fucking. April 1st, the Monday Night Raw in Barclays Center, where Asuka, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane defeat Shayna Baszler, Tegan Knox, and Zoe Stark. one of these got replaced with something else.
Wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. 7 months unused. I think she knew the writing was on the wall, especially when she hasn't been injured in a while. So, man, that's crazy.
Yes, she had some dark matches in April and May, and her last 2 bouts were she traded wins with she traded a win and loss with Blair Davenport a month apart.
That stinks. Well, listen, I'm happy to see Nixon Newell back on her feet. Anybody from those Progress days usually holds a little spot in my heart. Well, anybody that isn't Jimmy Havoc. You had to go weird.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, man, that was WWE Crown Jewel.
Well, hold on. I don't think you picked your megastar unless you were just going with mine.
No, yeah, I was gonna go with yours, Bronson.
Okay.
There was just no way to. There was no way to justify anybody else being the megastar of the night when it's like this was so good for him.
Yeah.
Nobody else had as good a night for him. As he did.
I agree. Like for a moment, I was considering like maybe Gunther because like it feels weird to give it to Cody when he's already on top.
Gunther is one of those things. It's harder to give the world champion the megastar of the night because you are the megastar. Like they
Yes.
do that. They called you megastar of the night.
Right. Well, like Gunther got to work with the top guy on a big show, so maybe. But yeah,
that's his job now. Max says, what do we think of Baron Corbin? Does he have a Matt Cardona like independent run at him? There's gonna be a little bit of a wall to get over when he's been so openly
not about like the indies.
Yeah, because that was his gimmick too, right? It was
yes, it was
anti-indie gimmick.
The indie killer guy.
But there were some interesting things he's posted on Instagram and things he's commented towards, and it's not as bad as Braun Strowman, right? Where he was like talking shit about GoFundMe's and shit.
Yeah.
But I think for himself, right? Because if you really believe these things, if you really believe like you're above this, and you've believed that all this time, now you have to face the fact that this is your only option. That's a hard thing to swallow, no matter who you are. So if you can get over that emotional wall, then I believe that he's got the talent to make a go for himself on the indies. Specifically, I was gonna say specifically like a GCW or something.
Yeah. That's how I knew I was kind of impressed with who's with Moxley.
Marina Shafir.
Yes.
Hack.
Marina.
Okay.
That's how I knew I was impressed with Marina Shafir, because it would have been very easy getting that like cozy. I say cozy because like it was. How do you say it was what's the word when you know people?
Nepotism.
Yes, it's very much. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir were very much nepotism hires. We brought them in and we could train them. We brought them in to be with Ronda. And it would have been very easy for someone like Marina Shafir to be like, well, WWE fired me and I'm not like about to go and toil the indie scene, so I'm done with this. Yep. But like, no, she braved it. She did the hard stuff. When you start with the WWE and then you decide to do the hard stuff, that is an easy way to curry favor with me. It shows me you cared.
That's kind of the feeling I had when Naomi went and did a whole ass run out on TNA. I was like,
yeah,
that's cute. Like, she didn't have to do that. She could have stayed home. They would have done that,
No, yeah, you didn't have to at all.
Marina definitely worked out. I know people were kind of ridiculing her in the beginning because it was kind of funny.
Of course,
there were some slips, and they were happening on TV, but she was willing to roll with the fucking punches. The You People promo, You People promo is legendary now amongst the meme community.
You don't know me.
You don't know me. You know, but you don't know But you do. But she's fucking great now. She's horrifying. I scared of fucking Marina Shafir. You see her walk out with Moxley? She's seconding that beast. Like,
yeah. So like that's that was something I thought about, which I was like, I'm proud to see you going out there and doing the hard stuff. I know there were a few others that came out of the WWE system that I was, I thought I was impressed by.
Was a big one. He fucking started in WWE.
Yeah, that's right.
He had the
he did, yeah, but he went out there and he did the hard stuff.
He got positioned early up there.
Yes.
And lost all that shit after years of only having that. So it's just go out there and get all the hard shit done. It usually works out in your benefit.
And he ate all the chicken he could find.
Chickens, cows, pigs. I'm sure they were mowed down.
The horse meat.
The size of two Drew McIntyres.
Yes, he did.
Wait.
It's funny watching some of those old ICW clips just going like, that man was small.
Dude, that 2026 beefed up Baron Corbin run is gonna go crazy. Wait till he comes in that first GCW show looking like he ate a crate full of steroids.
Seriously. I'll say this. Because it's a TV program, I do not think that Baron Corbin is against going to AEW.
Yeah, but
I don't see him going anywhere else.
Is AEW not against having Baron Corbin?
Yes, that's it. I'm not saying they would jump on him in a heartbeat, but like, I think he'd go to the TV program. I don't think he's gonna go toilet in GCW and beyond wrestling. If that's, I don't know what's still around anymore.
It's essentially GCW is the big one. Beyond, it doesn't have the same pull that it used to at all. It's kind of sad. Yeah. The Drew Gulak thing was like the most fucking attention they got.
I forgot that was the same place.
Yeah.
You guys are doing so well. And like PWG is kind of a non-starter at this point.
It's gone. There's just no more PWG shows until Super Dragon deals with his situation.
Yes, I still say sell it, but that's me.
Honestly, full on. If they could secretly sell it to a bigger, sell it to AEW, but on a low, and then let somebody else run it, and just build that shit up and use it as a feeder. Hey.
Oh yeah.
It's wrestling, man. You gotta lie to the folks. You gotta lie to
But not even just that. But I remember when I first heard about the situation, I said to myself, like, sell that thing. Somebody will see value in it. A lot of people on both sides of those big companies are going to see value in that library, and you need the money for your situation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I
was like, sell the fuck out of it. But that was me.
I think PWG is enough of an asset that if he sold it, honestly, I think if he sold it to Tony Khan, he'd probably get a little bit more of a deal, just because you got the human factor. Like, you get a person.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And one of his boys is on the end.
That's right. Excalibur's right all up in that shit. Does he half own it?
I don't remember. I to be honest, I was never really sure how that all shook out.
I used to think it was like Joey Ryan, Excalibur, Super Dragon.
No one's taking his calls anymore.
But because I remember when Joey Ryan had a falling out with PWG, and then he started bar wrestling. It was like the same thing. Yes.
You're right.
By old indie days.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I was gonna say, it's really just like GCW now, and like I don't even know. Maybe Hog?
Maybe.
Is that a bigger one these days?
HOG is certainly bigger than it was a few years ago, and it's like, part of that's because everybody else died off. But also,
I was gonna say, like, is it a bigger one because there's not much left?
Because they've been booking like this forever. Like, it's not like they just started booking bigger names. Like, they were always booking big names, and
nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody could get the buzz. But nobody else is doing it right now, and they're the only ones who are able to say, like, oh, we have AEW World Champions, we're Strickland on Friday, like, So
DPW, that is a name I do see a bit these days.
That's right. DPW. DPW is a big one right now.
Yeah.
People go there and they're treated like,
Isn't that the one run by the podcasters?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Fans, for the fans, by the fans.
I guess so, right? There's always a market for that kind of show.
I think there should always exist one, at least. One that's not run by a shitty money mark. Not a fat fucking dumb money mark that doesn't know what the fuck is going on in today's wrestling. They probably hate everything that's on TV and they think they're better than that.
Listen, you leave USA Pro out of this.
I was talking about family wrestling entertainment.
Oh, jeez. I thought that was run by a skinny motherfucker, but
I'm sorry. They're all the same to me.
Okay. Oh, memories.
They all, for whatever, I'm sure everybody has the same image too. It's the dude they're all the dude from Beyond the Mat. All of them. All the promoters of the dude.
Oh my god.
The fucking dude
Roland Alexander.
Yeah, man.
The magic of editing.
They're all that guy to me, honestly.
Like, I think I pay well. I think I'm probably one of the better paying guys in wrestling today. Cut to Michael Modest. Yeah, sometimes we don't get paid.
I'm not eating tonight.
Oh man, it's a good thing you got those Noah bookings, Michael. Good lord.
That's true, man. Oh, one of them passed away recently, right? That's actually really sad. The bigger black dude that was he was in the tryout. There was a short.
Oh, the shooter, Tony.
Shooter. That's right.
Yes.
Shooter. Yeah, rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
He is. San Francisco area. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a West Coast guy. A lot of them were. A lot of interesting West Coast guys like came out of that APW facility.
My camera passed away.
Okay.
Brett Lauderdale's getting shit right now because GCW was getting heat for some of the money he was paying Mox. I feel like some of that story was a little bit fucked up too, because like the story was Mox felt like Gage wasn't getting paid enough.
Oh, yes.
In the main event with him, and so they made him raise up to the same rate that he was paying Mox. And now Gage is falling out with GCW and Brett. And Brett
has he?
Yeah, man. He kind of publicly said Brett implied that Nick fell off the wagon, and he didn't want to support that.
Okay.
And other companies that book Nick Gage are supporting his habit or whatever. But I'm thinking like, shouldn't he still get fed? Like, doesn't he have to eat? But anyway, like their problems are theirs. But for now, Nick Gage is completely falling out with GCW. He does not work.
So wait, help me understand that story. I know we've extended this podcast. Help me understand that story again. Nick Gage was being paid less than Mox, and Mox bumped him.
Mox, I don't know if I don't know the nature of the conversation.
Okay.
Aggressive? Was it friendly?
Sure.
He was working the main event with Nick Gage and GCW. This probably would have been when Moxley was champion, or maybe when he was about to win it. Nick wasn't getting paid what Moxley thought was enough for that match. If Moxley's getting whatever 1,000, let's say 3,000, maybe 2,000, 1,000.
Mox getting let's say Mox is getting 3,000. Sure, whatever.
And Nick Gage was probably getting like 800 or 1,000. Okay, and Mox is like, I want him to get 3, like me.
Okay, so I remember seeing something like this. I remember the result of it being that Gage didn't realize that he was a draw.
That is true as well.
And to me, I just went like, Gage, have you seen the fucking people that mob the entranceway when you come out?
Honestly, I know that they're friends, and I know that I'm pretty sure that they actually love each other. I don't believe that.
Mox and Gage?
Well, not Mox and Gage and Brett Lauderdale.
Okay, sure, probably, yeah.
I believe that they genuinely care about each other, but I feel like if Nick Gage didn't realize he was over, it's because he wasn't fucking getting paid like it. All right?
That has to be it, yeah, because...
If he was getting paid like if he had seen a bump in his money, he would be like, "Oh shit, this is really working out." There would be no confusion. You know, at a human level, right? I don't even have to know what's going on to know that if someone thinks they're not over, when we all can see it with our eyes, then there's a reason they have the doubt, and the doubt is probably when they're hungry at night.
Yeah, probably, man. If you're only getting it, it is hard for me to believe that he was only getting paid $800, and it was
I made that number up.
I know. I'm using it as an example. It is hard for me to believe that he was only getting paid that much, and then like was using that to be like, God damn, I guess I'm just a regular old guy. Like I don't know, it's weird.
I feel he's been getting that kind of a like reaction and attention for I guess as long as GCW's been around, right? Because even he sees EW days.
I've been to a few shows,
and so he was getting paid indie rates the whole time. It probably just never clicked. Like, and then he's, he got the drug usage, and sometimes that affects your judgment and the way you see things, and it's kind of everything's clouded around you. And I feel like that made him an open target, and they were easy for fucking people to take advantage of him.
Probably.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's been taking advantage and fucking him hard or even on purpose. I'm just saying there was clearly a situation there where somebody was getting more than somebody else.
Wow.
Somebody was getting a better situation out of it for sure. But that's
I hope Gage gets okay.
I think he will be. Mac was bringing us up. Mac says Nick Gage went to rehab in August and he missed a booking, but Gage said he's good now. He's been in rehab for months. Gage said he still loves Brett and they're friends, but friends fall out. And so Brett knew Gage was not good, quote unquote, for a while, but it got bad when he started missing bookings, so they stopped booking him.
I mean, that's a fair reason to stop booking somebody, but
pretty high, right? And then people twisted the whole story to say that he was giving Mox more and regulars less when there was a middle ground. That could have been reached. Yeah. Like I said, that's why I'm not like, Brett Holiday was taking advantage of Nick Gage. I think that there was a little bit of Nick Gage probably taking advantage of the other way. Like I've had to deal with like drug addicts in my family too. Like sometimes they get lost in the sauce, and it's hard to help them if they don't want to be helped. So it's a whole thing, and that's probably why you haven't heard more people talk on it, because it's hard to talk on that. It really is. It's complicated as fuck.
I mean, there's nothing. There's so little you could ever say when both sides hit each other and are probably kind of both wrong.
Yeah. You're right. Exactly. But we definitely took a Crown Jewel podcast and ended it talking about GCW, Brett Lauderdale, and Nick Gage. That's what we do here. That's why I miss Greg. You should quit your job. We don't need money. What the fuck are we doing with money anyway? Money's the root of all evil, actually.
Motherfucker, I took that money to Disney, and you know exactly why it was worth it.
What's an empty pot? What's it?
Oh, Jesus.
All right, it's time. We have a theme for this now. Let me bring that up.
It's the outro, baby.
If you enjoyed talking with us, WWE's Crown Jewel post show, this ain't the only time we're on, man. We're Dirt Sheet Radio, and we are literally always on Mondays.
Hey, I want to know, there are some rumors that, that contract over there is ending. Maybe somebody would like to do some music.
I heard that we might have a new in-house music production person, and I heard that they sleep right next to me. So it's the rumor mill is pretty. I'm pretty close to the source.
Maybe she wants a job at the other place up in New York.
I'm trying to get it. I said, listen, you made this. They got people that get paid thousands of dollars and could never produce this. Like, what the fuck?
They're kind of trash, you see.
They're kind of ass. But, that's Dirt Sheet Radio, man. We're on every day. We're on Mondays after Raw, Tuesdays after NXT, Wednesdays after Dynamite, Thursdays after Impact, Fridays after SmackDown. On Sundays, Tyler and CJ have their weekend wrestling roundup. They'll get a new graphic soon, as the death of NXT Level Up left them without a home. And you'll also have the 3NT Wrestling Podcast every Sunday, but the flagship Thursday mornings, Wednesday nights. If you're up late, you work overnight, hang out with us live as we record for Thursday morning, the flagship Nick Greg, and myself, Dershi Radio, a wrestling newscast where we cover the last 7 days of professional wrestling news. Greg, this was fun. Thank you for joining me.
Mac wants you to know you have to change the NXT logo.
I do.
You gotta go Chrome.
I actually do have to change that, and I keep on forgetting. I'll get to that on Monday, or probably Tuesday, 3 minutes before the show starts. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me here and Greg tonight. For myself, for Greg, for the rest of the Dershi Radio crew, join us, follow us, and we'll see you tomorrow or Monday night.